This is the ethnic conflict between the Philippines and Muslims. After Islam was founded in the 7th century, it began to spread widely. Merchants brought it to the southern part of the Philippines and the island of Mindanao and the Sulu Islands. It became well established in these parts, and during the 15th century, it started spreading up the Philippines while the other parts were occupied by a spiritual religion. In 1521, a Portuguese explorer discovered the Philippines and opened the door to Spaniards coming into the country. However, this was at the same time as Islam was really spreading throughout the area. The Catholic, Spanish, and Islamic areas began fighting for the next 80 years. The fighting between Catholic, Spanish, and Islamic stopped for a while because the Philippines was fought over by other countries. The Philippines became a self-governing nation in 1935, making the Muslim South part of the new Philippines Republic. The South, however, did not view themselves as Filipino and saw themselves as having their own culture. The new country tried to immigrate Christians to the South, which caused Muslim discrimination and made them an impoverished minority in their own lands by the 1960s. In 1968, police killed Muslims who were training for a raid. This event became known as the Jeddah Massacre. Later in September 1972, President Marcos declared martial law, which led to an open revolt by the independence group Moros National Liberation Front, which was led by Nur Mizari. The government started killing thousands of soldiers and civilians and was even charged with genocide. Hundreds of Muslims were displaced from their homes. The MNLF teamed up with Libya and the Organization of Islamic Conference. Libya provided sanctuary for MNLF leaders, and the OIC pushed the Philippine government to negotiate peace, which happened in 1976 with the Tripoli Agreement. This agreement called for a ceasefire between the Philippines government and MNLF and gave autonomy to 13 Muslim provinces. It was never implemented due to Nur Mizari allying with Iran to stop bringing oil to the Philippines. He demanded the same conditions as the Tripoli Agreement, but instead of autonomy, he wanted succession. The MNLF eventually split into two groups, the MNLF run by Mizari and the new MNLF, which was run by Salamat Hashim. Hashim's group, later renamed MILF, received financial support from Muslim families, such as Osama bin Laden, but didn't have much power because the government favored the other group. Then terrorist group Abu Sayyaf became involved in matters in 1991 when they bombed a floating Christian bookstore. They have since bombed churches and repeatedly kidnapped people, including the incident with Americans Martin and Gracia Burnham. A peace treaty was again signed that set in motion the original Tripoli Agreement notions, putting Nur Mizari in charge of the new Muslim areas. However, he was a terrible leader and was kicked out of office. In response, he told people loyal to him to attack the Philippines Army headquarters a week before elections. Hundreds died, mainly his own forces, and Mizari was labeled an international terrorist. Abu Sayyaf remained a problem, and George W. Bush ordered around 600 U.S. soldiers to train the Filipinos and help destroy Abu Sayyaf. In the end, conflict is still going on. Three groups with different ideologies are all trying to secure freedom for Muslim Filipinos at the same time, and international players are making it more confusing to know which side is the right side. Whether it be the kidnapping approach of Abu Sayyaf or the attempted peace agreements of the MNLF, freedom for Muslims has not gone well.